Recording in progress.
Well, we had a great podcast yesterday that I guess will be another day because we had Greg Blatt on and then the audio didn't work. So my brother messaged me and goes, "Hey, I can just see Bobby moving his mouth." And I'm like, "Well, that's probably the best version of this podcast." But we'll hopefully have audio work today. Take it, Bobby. Oh, look at that. Bobby's
look,
so
we
good
can still
at
do
bits.
hack bits.
Oh, look, it's in twat water.
It'll be great because joining us this week, we've got a big shot, Avery Q, he says. Now, I say the Q stands for queer. He says it stands for Quinn. Either way, give it up for Avery.
Hey, thanks. Pat, I like how your joke was that Bobby Tamburo might be a little bit more of a looker, which is...
I just meant we can't hear him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the worst of two evils. You know what I mean?
Either way, they were both mean and hurtful.
Avery, you've definitely met someone who you looked at them and they were ugly, and then when they spoke and their voice was uglier than that, you know what I mean? So you're like, just sit there and, I mean, I can't say be pretty, but be better, you know? Like there's always that witch-looking woman, and she's like, hello! It's like, oh my God. Like, I didn't know it was worse on the inside. It's like...
It's
like sometimes you're on the phone with like you're on the phone with customer service and you're like, this lady sounds cute. You're like, you know, she's 300 pounds. So, but you don't expect her to be like sound ugly and be ugly.
There was a radio show, and I don't want to give it away, but if you know radio, you'll know what show I'm referring to, that replaced like one of the staples with one of the other hosts' daughters. And she had the sexiest voice in the world. And I fell in love with this voice. And then I saw a picture and was like, oh, man, I got catfished over the radio.
When I was getting years ago, I actually interned for a couple of radio stations in Connecticut. Like, even before I started podcasting or being on the radio, even before comedy, I did that. And one of the stations I got to do was...
Joining us today is Stunt Boy Oates, potatoes. And what we do is we put potatoes out on the streets and you throw potatoes at potatoes and you win a Wii.
They learned quickly not to let me be a personality because they had me. I'll tell that story once too, but like I did real quick. Okay, so I was interning at a station that had 5 stations at it. One of them is Avery will know it, the black station in Connecticut, Hot 93.7. Yeah. And so it's like it's the rap station. And in the middle of the day, they have a woman named Jenny Boom Boom. And Jenny is just like the most ghetto woman. Like it's in the middle of the day. She's like, yo, so tell them why you mad. And just screaming and yelling about her 80 kids.
I thought you meant the most ghetto woman. Like she wore a robe and was at a bodega yelling about the lotto tickets, the instant lotto tickets all day. That was her radio
always
show?
Always gray sweatpants and like her man's hoodie. Like, yeah, very much that. Like holding a rubber ducky for no reason.
Ranting about how the fake horses are not real. Man, these lotto tickets, they keep fucking me.
But I remember I came on as an intern and I was there and I walked into the room expecting a black woman, and it's the whitest woman I've ever seen who just talks like that. And I was like, wow. So they had me come on quickly because they said someone told them I did voices. And it's, you know, Bobby.
Oh, no.
The voices I do are, someone's like, yeah, he does impressions. So I said, oh, I'll just do an impression kind of like yours, Jenny. And she's like, didn't know what that was. She's like, oh, whatever. Like she wasn't paying attention. So she goes in and she goes, yo, we got this record producer. And she was going to feed me lines, whatever. And I just went, hello there, Jenny Boom Boom. It's me, Patty Boom Boom. The button got hit. She's like, commercial. She's like, what are you doing? I go, what are you doing? I might be a jerk for a minute. You're this all the time. I got asked to be on a show. There's a guy on 96.5 named Damon Scott, who's been doing it forever. And we had to do a thing where John Mayer was performing at the Oakdale. It's called something else now in like Wallingford area, Connecticut. John Mayer originally is from Connecticut. So like this was his first album was big. The songs like Bodies of Wonderland, all that shit. That was like the big songs at the time. He was performing there. There's a big family coming home thing. And we had to be there. And Damon Scott was there live. I was helping out. Damon turned to me and said, hey, I want to do a thing where we pretend like you're his brother. And I'm like, okay. And he goes, yeah, we're just going to do it. I'm going to run a bit. You just go with me. And Damon would always get in trouble for like pushing the line and shit. He was the afternoon guy. Not too crazy, but radio crazy. So he just goes, I forget what, I think my name was like Von Mayor, whatever, just like the easiest change, whatever. And he goes, "What's your favorite song of mine, brother?" And I was like, "Body is a Wonderland." And I just start doing a retarded
I
voice.
knew that's where it was going right away.
So right
I
away,
love you, John.
right. So Damon just going, "Body is a Wonderland," and we're just both doing retarded voice back and forth. We get tapped on the shoulder and told to go to break by like a higher up guy. We got called. Damon's being yelled at. Comes over to me and goes, "All right, you're not allowed to be on the air anymore. It was fun." I go, "Wait, did I get you in trouble?" He's like, "Well, no, I did." "Hey, did you know John Mayer has a real brother that has Down syndrome?" And I'm like, "No." He's like, "Yeah, me neither. Me fucking neither." He's like, "They're playing this in there. He can hear it in his green room." We didn't get yelled at by them. John Mayer didn't say anything. The show, whatever. I didn't get to meet him or anything. But holy shit, what a coincidence! What a coincidence!
All right, Pat, we got one chance to get out of this, and you're gonna have to pull off the acting job of a lifetime. Hope you're ready to meet John Mayer, because he's pissed.
I was waiting. Like, you're gonna have to fight him. You're the old guy intern. It's time for you to fight John Mayer.
John,
I'll be running through these halls of this high school. Yeah, it was.
Try to fake it.
We did it for like, I mean, not even kidding, 3 minutes of just he kept saying, "Do more Forrest Gump and less Sean Penn." So he's trying to like channel the best retard we thought we could do. But I guess he has Down syndrome, or he has some kind of disease where he wasn't a fan. I was like, I think that's awesome that we nailed it.
The reason why you didn't get in trouble is that in the moment, John was like, "Get my fucking brother off the radio."
I'm so tired of being second fiddle to that retard. He keeps winning. Every time he does something, everyone's like, "It's great."
His whole life, all he did was steal all the attention. Why do you think I got so fucking good at playing the guitar? It's the only way my parents showed me any goddamn love.
I literally had to become the modern day James Taylor for you guys to fucking pay attention to me.
Fathers, be good to your brothers, because they might be retarded.
I was gonna say, is that what your Body's a Wonderland is about? Like, Jesus Christ.
That's what we were saying.
This thing is like an amusement park. Your head's...
I remember my one line, I kept going, "Use your hand, use your hand." Every time he said "Body's a Wonderland," I just kept yelling, "Use your hand." I just thought it was, but we tried to do the daughters thing too. We were like, "Daughters, they're cute sometimes." Like, we just go off. You're just going off on the thing.
Now, Avery, as a member,
free falling.
Avery, as a member of that community,
I fall all the time. Gravity.
Gravity pulling on my giant head.
Right now, people that are watching are going, "I don't know what's more retarded, John Mayer's brother, or the fact that the three of you know so many John Mayer songs."
I have like 3 of his CDs. I love.
Oh, so do I. I love John Mayer. Like, I'm not gonna lie.
I'm like a 40-year-old mom. I'm just like, he makes me wet.
Oh yeah. So, dude, I have gone.
He was just a retard painting things and eating glue.
That's a fun one.
You guys do that. He was an assassin.
I was about to share like a big moment. You're like, "Hey, let's one more tar glue."
Yeah, you know me.
By the way,
Also,
go ahead,
Pat. How old do you think I am that you think I listen to terrestrial radio? You're like, Avery will know this. Connecticut's hottest radio station.
Well, okay, my bad. Because most of the comics you work with all go on. That's a connection thing. Marshall Brandon, you know who that is?
Yeah.
Marshall Brandon, every time he does the Funny Bone, and Mo Green and guys like that get to do the Funny Bone with him. That's a show he has tied in with the guy Big Reg from Hot 93.7. Every flyer they share says that on it. If you're around a black comic, you've heard that because that's how they get on all their shows.
Damn, son, you just outed yourself.
No, he just proved how white he was. He has to pay attention to black people.
That's what he outed.
No, I just don't work a lot. That's all.
No, but like all the guys that you mentioned him before, that's why I thought you, especially that Hartford area, those guys all get to be like Mo Musa. All those guys get to be on Marshall's shows.
I just
with the Funny Bone on Wednesdays because it's a Big Reg and Marshall's combination show.
In your defense, Avery, I thought he just assumed you knew the black radio station because as the poster child of Donald Trump's America, like the white privileged poster child, I would know all the black stuff too. I would ingratiate myself in that community, be like, "No, I'm cool. I'm not one of them."
Hey, is that Hot 91.7? They have the dopest jam.
Hot 93.7. 91.7 is a temperature, I think. I don't think if your radio goes that low, you're listening to terrorists. It's usually 92.5 is the lowest you go, and then you're in some serious trouble. What I was gonna say is when my heart has been broken in my life. Dreaming with a Broken Heart by John Mayer is the song I will listen to when I want to cry over and fucking over again. It is the most painful goddamn song to listen to of all fucking time, but it's just amazing. That motherfucker. Now I know why though, because like he had to keep dealing with like every time he did something good, his brother would win the bronze in flipping or something. He's like, God damn it. Dude. He threw a bottle in a TikTok video and he just beat my Grammy.
My buddy Zach won the gold in golf at the Special Olympics, came back, and like the best high school athlete that I graduated with took him out to play golf, and Zach kicked his ass. He beat him by like 5 strokes. What does that say about Joey?
Oh, I mean, that retards are good at golf. Like if you have a lot of time on your hands, you're either rich or disabled. You can be really good at golf. You just need time.
I'm both of those things, and I'm terrible at golf. I mean.
Well, do you go play all the time?
Yeah, actually, I play a lot.
And you're not. You're saying you're terrible. You're terrible compared to good people. If you wouldn't play together, I haven't played in 10 years. If we played, you destroyed it.
You know what? We'll work the. You come to my Dick's Sporting Goods. We'll work the simulator.
But I like that the 2/3 of this show work at Dick's Sporting Goods. And by the way, Bobby, I almost texted you because I got to meet Avery in person, and I don't know Avery's act. So when he's up there and he's doing Dick's Sporting, I'm like, this motherfucker's stealing your act.
Oh shit!
Wait, Bobby, what's your department? We're brothers in arms now. I didn't know that.
I can assure you we aren't, Avery. If you refer to anybody who works at Dick's Sporting Goods as a brother in arms, I view them all as enemies. I hate everybody who works there. I was a bike tech. I got bitter. Now I'm an ops guy. I've got the show up and work when you want schedule though. Like, if I'm in town, they let me work. I'm pretty much done there. I just use it for the material at this point.
I was in the back, and I forget which comic was in the back with me, and I started hearing you tell the joke about the customer had an issue. Yeah. And the person said to you, we don't call them customers, we call them athletes. And I went, I know how this is going to go because I've heard Bobby have to fucking deal with this.
Yep.
But I do like your joke was very fun. You, just to get out of the way, you were great. That audience was a very tough, and most people know me talk about comedy. I never blame the audience for anything. That audience really didn't want to be there.
Oh, dude, it was pretty brutal. So what I was also nervous about was when you went up first, you were doing don't get what are you getting offended and stuff for? I'm like, oh man, I'm clean. Like I'm clean on stage. This is going to be a terrible lead. And it's like, you get ready to get your feelings roasted. And I'm like, hey, Avery's.
Well, that's not what I was saying. I was saying the opposite is that I always do that same thing when I'm at comics because those casino crowds get real tight. And I want them to understand this isn't Twitter. This isn't whatever. Relax. So I always say to them, it's like, hey, if you get offended by anything, you grow the fuck up. That'd be great. Like you literally bought a ticket to watch people try to create something and relate to you. And you don't know how to be relatable to, because if you did, you wouldn't have gone to a place that makes you shut up and listen. Like if you were, there was one show one time where I went off hard. This lady goes, you don't think I'm funny? I'm like, no one thinks you're funny. That's why you were brought here. Did you buy the ticket? She goes, no. People that are around you think we need to shut her the fuck up. We need to go to a place where they quiet you down. And if you talk, they throw you the fuck out. They don't even want to know your opinion. They want to they know you're going to be annoying. They know you're going to bitch about this anyway, but they might as well have a good time and revel in the fact that it's going to bother you. So why don't you just turn the fuck around, lady, and face the other way? And her husband goes, I was like, that's fantastic. But no, I thought you did a great job. The crowd, for people, I thought the crowd they came to a contest. They're older. I don't know what they expected, but there were some good people in it. But if you took, I would say 60% of that crowd was older than me by about 10 years at least. And they were all just like a bunch of lunch ladies just staring at us.
Well, it's like they segregated by age. It was like the more they went back, it was just old. Like there was decrepit people in the back.
Yeah. I said to one, you're just bones. You're bones. She just kept staring and she wasn't breathing. I go, and I started trying to make them all clap because they would just keep dying after. So I went one by, I go, do your arms work? And she goes, ah. I go, flap them together, bones. And she's I was like, go ahead. I did say to them, I said, goddamn COVID should have killed more people. It was fine. Now, I was one of the judges. I don't know that people tell that, but the hosts are always one of the judges too. So I definitely had you high up on my card. I think you and Chris tied for first with me because you both did the best you could with a crowd, but like originality, you're both original. That was part of the thing. That one was fun. Did Bobby run away or is he there?
I'm here.
Oh, you're not. We don't see you in the video anymore, so I didn't know. So you both are original. You both got the best crowd reaction you could, but crowd reaction is a thing. So it's like, how do you get them to laugh? So the people I scored less than you guys, it was just basically crowd reaction because everything else was. Well, one guy wasn't original. One guy was a hack motherfucker, but like,
yeah.
Actually, there were kind of two. There was only 7 people on there. I've known both of them.
Yeah, I mean, I'm getting to know some people, so I'm just gonna be quiet.
No, I'm not saying names either. It's not. Listen, I don't use hack as a derogatory term. A hack just means that they're hacking a system. That's what they're doing. It's like you can use a cheat code and still have fun playing a game, or you play the game. A hack isn't a thief. A hack is somebody who takes very general topics or things that are familiar. A hack is a Beatles cover band. That's a hack. Right. They're going up there. They're doing a thing that's popular and great, and the audience is going to love it. But is it 100% coming from them? Did they put in the blood, sweat, and tears to make it their thing where they took this idea, formed it into this thing that elicits laughter and feelings out of people? That feeling that we get, that's amazing. You know what I mean? But
I hosted a weekend at a comedy show. I hosted a weekend at the Comedy Zone one time, and the headliner goes on stage for his final joke, goes up and goes, he does the joke where he goes, these robbers went to the bank and one of his masks slips off. And he goes, did anybody see my face? And a guy raises his hand. They shoot him. Did anybody else see my face? Another guy raises his hand. They shoot him. Did anybody else see my face? And then a guy raises his hand and goes, I didn't, but my wife did. He got a standing ovation for that. They loved it.
Yeah, they love that shit. They love that shit. It's in it because it's familiar. It's because it's simple, but it works. And that's what a hack kills.
It's crazy to get like the biggest like cheering at the end of your set I've ever seen from a joke I saw on my uncle's Facebook.
Right, but your uncle kills on Facebook with it. And now they can all go to work and tell that joke and be the funny guy. Because a hack, you can just take that home. It's a doggy bag. You can just take it home with you. That's why I don't get mad at it. If I'm performing in some town where they're like, they hire me for like a VFW where I'm headlining and they go, well, the middle guy's been doing comedy here 30 years. I go, okay, then I won't have to care about your local town because he'll cover it over and over. He'll talk about that hit Bobby hard.
He'll cover every detail. He'll cover all the people there. He'll talk about who's fucking whose wife.
Oh God, the mayor 2 months ago, what he did, that was crazy. Like, so you don't have to worry about someone trying to do any of that. I'm like, I'll literally go up and go, I'm glad he covered it because I don't even know where the fuck I am. like I used to take, Pete Angelo?
Yeah.
All right, so Pete's been on here many times. Pete used to open up for me a lot when I would go around and stuff. And this is when Pete was really just starting to let everyone know he was bisexual. So the reactions would be crazy because like he would do he would split it in half. Half of it would just be like these jokes. And he's this big biker guy. And then he'd go, I'm gay. And then you'd always hear, we'd be going like upper state New York, Hampshire, Western Massachusetts. Every time there'd be some guy going, oh no. Like you would just hear, oh no. And then they would just all cross their arms. And then I'd walk up after and go, I didn't know he was fucking gay. I wouldn't have brought him. Holy shit. I go, at least he's only just sometimes gay. And that's what I would call him. I said, you're not bi, you're sometimes gay. That's your term. But it was funny to watch him do that stuff. And then he'd get frustrated because they'd have a host there sometimes. And the host would be like some local hack. He's like, that guy's fucking killing with bullshit. And I'm pouring out my heart and soul. I go, but you will be better than him. You will do this longer. He'll only work Chicopee. You know what I mean? This guy won't get to travel all over and do other shit. And that's that choice you make. How many times if you think back to when you first started and comedians go on stage and they do the thing and you went up there your first time and got like your real laugh, not your like, I made fun of a guy or my friends laugh. That real fucking I earned this laugh. That thing is so addictive. That's like heroin, kind of like, where you're like, oh, I want more of that. And you're always chasing that kind of laugh. Now, some people will get those laughs and build it, and then build a half hour, 45 minutes of tried and true. And then after a while, they're like, well, why would I ever let this go? Why would I ever take that chance again? And that's that where we're like, oh God, okay, all those jokes, they did it. I'm not that guy anymore. Scrap it. Let's go on. I wanted to do it again and again. Guys who love to write, that's that difference. So you see those, some guys are like, well, how come that guy never leaves? How come the guy with 3 names that Bobby works with never fucking leaves that area? Because he just loves being there and it works and he makes money, but he's afraid to take that chance. There's a comic from this area who's not doing much anymore. And I remember I was on a show with him and
Comics Mohegan Sun maybe all right, but to be honest with you, Wisecrackers Mohegan Sun is the best comedy club in a Mohegan Sun of all time. This is my Kanye West mask. I don't know if you can tell that's the bit I'm doing here.
No.
Comics Mohegan Sun's fine, but Wisecrackers, hell of a club. Much more fun Mohegan Sun to be at. What up? What up?
Am I Taylor Swift?
You just got Taylor Swift, bitch.
Oh. In the chat, it said did I tap my head 4 times?
You said Bobby. You addressed me. You missed the or.
Oh, well, okay.
Okay, wait. No, my bad. I'll go back.
No, it's...
Tap your head 4 times when you want me to come back in. Keep talking about the contest. My bad. I missed my bit.
Lost.
Avery, you're not the only one. I have no way. In the chat, he messages me and goes, I have a bit I want to do. Tap your head 4 times. I didn't read the rest. I said, okay, if you want me back in. But I guess there was and or.
It was or.
I say his name. But
Yeah.
then you started laughing. So, of course, I said Bobby liked that. I didn't.
I thought you were addressing me. My bad. Misread the
You
text.
started to chuckle, and I was like, oh, cool. Bobby liked this thing.
Do
He just
you
left
want?
us to...
Do you want me to
You
pop
look like
out?
a shitty professional wrestler.
I look like Kanye West, Avery. Educate yourself, you white privileged motherfucker.
You look like the inside of Pride Month.
I'm just saying. This is what Kanye looks like.
You know what I mean? The background's all rainbowy, and it's just a black asshole.
There's my strobe
Glitter
light.
on it. I wish. Oh, Bobby, just to go on this. Guess who asked me to do a roast battle with him?
Stevie Lou.
Ben Ortiz.
No fucking
Yes.
way. Do it.
No,
Do it.
no one's gonna beat Ben Ortiz.
Yeah, no. Just
So
go and
funny.
record
He's
it
so
for
funny.
the
And
podcast.
nothing hurts him. He shared everything. You can't say any. Every day he tells people how many hookers he gets, how he's schizophrenic, how he writes to prisoner women, everything he's ever done. I'm like, I don't do them, Ben. He goes,
I am schizophrenic. I do write to whores in prison.
No, Bobby, you haven't
You
seen
guys-
him.
you
My
guys-
mom
you
does
guys
steal my
forgot.
Ritalin.
You guys forgot he yells "yo" as loud as possible. Yo,
Well, but
I'm
no-
schizophrenic.
Avery, the funny thing is, Bobby's never seen him. He was just, I think, kidding. He doesn't realize he was just doing his act.
Oh, shit.
Oh my god, dude, that
Yeah,
was spot on, Bob.
Dude, that's his act.
Nice. I was just 8 miling him.
I know. That's
So
him.
funny.
All right, just to address the bit real quick. I got the privilege of working the other Mohegan Sun.
We know.
With Nicholas Bruce. It was a great time. They are a wonderful club. Some people have given them a hard time lately on podcasts. So I just want to take 5 minutes and just be like, it was a wonderful time. They had a hell of a club. It was full both nights. Everybody killed, despite the fact that nobody's known. Like, nobody was there to see a comic. The club was sold out. They were just there to see a comedy show, and it went great. And they won a real clean room. And, yeah. This bit feels overdone.
What was the bit?
Oh, boy, I'll be back.
No, don't.
What
Was the? I don't know the bit.
Avery, explain it to him. I got to take this mask off. I'm literally.
No,
gonna
what
pass
is
out.
the mask? No, Avery, stay out of this. What is the mask? What is all this?
This is a Kanye West mask.
Why is that Kanye West mask?
This is Kanye West. This is a Yeezy brand diamond studded mask that Kanye wears. He wore it
I
in public throughout the
exclusively
whole.
listen to Blink 182. I don't know urban music.
I wish I could blink 182 times to make this go away.
Yeah, me too. I tried to leave like 4 times, and you
why
kept
would you
calling me
think?
back.
Okay,
kept
Avery even
bringing
said,
me
Pat, I think
back.
it's funny you thought I'd know the black radio station. How do you think the two of us know Kanye's headgear?
You knew Coast Contra. You knew Coast Contra. You know how of a
Yeah,
deep
they don't
cut
wear
that is
masks.
in the
The
hip hop
second it
community?
listen, the second it becomes fag Pulp Fiction, I'm out. Like, I don't know what you're doing.
Being awesome is what I'm doing.
Bobby, I have a Run the Jewels CD in my car. I've listened to it twice. It really is just for show.
Yeah. You just like Rage, but you're like, I just want to hear that guy from Rage again. That's all
Run the
it is.
jewels fast. Run the jewels fast. All right. Well, this was a fun bit, guys. I'll be back. Maybe I'll do another bit later.
You don't need to if you don't want to.
You don't have to keep leaving. What is this thing where he leaves? Wait, I don't. But did Kanye ever work Wisecrackers?
Yeah, all these white people gambling. I'm gonna do my
Yeah, why would Kanye talk about crackers at all? It should have been wise N-words. That's the one he works.
Oh my God.
I hope Bobby comes back with this black face on going, it's me, Kanye. It's a bit.
You think I could have said it in the mask and gotten
Yeah.
away with it, Avery?
No, you could have got away with it, but you could have done it. If you wrote Gino on your mask.
I would have gotten away with it if he wasn't for these meddling podcasting. I was a white guy the
maybe
whole
this
time.
this is a good time to introduce Avery to our game. Say the N-word.
Can I just finish the one? Okay, never mind.
No, I'm just kidding.
No, go ahead. Do it.
No, I
do-
like leaving the cliffhanger. If he doesn't know what the option is, finish your story and we'll come
no,
back.
do the game.
All right, Avery. So the choice is say the N-word or rank the minorities you hate the most.
By the way, just so you know, yesterday he said this to Greg but forgot to say or.
Yeah, I said and Greg was just like,
I
no.
was like, what is the
And now
game?
Greg's really happy there was no audio on that podcast.
Yeah. Well, Greg just went, like, you just stared. Greg went, oh, absolutely not. I'm out. like just stone faced.
You look like you were
not
considering it, Avery. You were like,
even
maybe.
close.
Which
No, he
one
was
should I
not.
do?
He was just shocked.
I'm considering neither. Dude. I can't.
Neither? Is that what you meant to say there? Or were you trying to say something else?
He's using the N-word version of either, which is neither.
That's a good out. That is a great out, Avery.
See?
Good logical loophole you found there. Your
Yeah.
creativity's foiled me again, Holmes.
Once again, we should do that.
Quick as
Let's,
Pat. That would be a nice thing to be able to
let's
get
do,
away with.
let's do power on that word. It's like neither. Excuse me? You say either.
That is
Neither.
not your. That is
is
not
not
your
your-
preposition. That is our preposition. We didn't
Neither.
land on neither rock
Rock
mammoth
landed on us.
us.
I don't get to sleep inside neither. You can spell Django that way. I can spell either neither. That is not the way you spell Django. Anyway,
Bobby,
all I
I'm
was
so glad-
to get to the end of what I was saying before we got Kanye'd.
I feel like he might be back later to explain his bit.
I think for now on we should just have him on and not you and me or Avery. Just Kanye's a bit. Have Kanye come back and talk about Roe versus Wade in a little bit. How about that?
Okay.
I don't know if you heard me, Avery. I said that to a lady in the audience.
I'm gonna run to the
Just
bathroom
staring
quick,
hard at
guys.
me.
I'll
I
be
went,
right back.
y'all. I said you're all Roe and no Wade. I don't even know what that means. And
Oh, bro.
and one guy laughed, and I was like, I don't even know which one was the one that was the good one.
Also, the good one is also pretty up to interpretation right now.
Right. It depends who you are, I guess. But like Roe versus Wade, I was like, I don't know. And I was talking to my daughter, who has a very good sense of humor, and she just goes, that'd be funny if Roe was the mom and Wade was the baby. That's the ultimate versus. All I was trying to say at the end was there's a comic from this area who've been doing comedy a long time when I started. I was the middle act it was a club that like they would hire old hackier guys that would crush in the area. Like they would do really well. In New Haven, they would do all the East Havens Italians, New Havens black guys jokes, and all the white people would go, and laugh and shit. I was a middle, even though I was supposed to be a host, and the guy who was hosting was like a newer guy who was getting a chance. They would give people opportunities. So the guy hosting, I don't know if you know him, John Romanoff. He's a very funny comic now. He's all over the place in Connecticut, like 400-pound fucking guy. He doesn't probably come up your way much, but does really well. But he was on the show, and he grew up in the same town as this headlining guy. And so the headliner does this whole act. He does this whole joke about his son playing t-ball, and there's a whole fucking thing, and peanut butter sandwiches, and how everyone's allergic. All the shit, you know what I mean? That comics do. When it was over, John knows the rule. Like when the headliner's done, you don't tell any more jokes. You just say goodnight. He goes, I know I'm not supposed to say jokes or anything, but hey, to the headliner, you gotta get a new joke. I was on your son's t-ball team. I was like, holy fucking shit. He's like, and he showed me a picture later. Like, legitimately, this joke was 30 years old. So that's what I'm saying. Like, sometimes they have that fear of going away from it. Like, Seinfeld talks about that, where he's like, well, why wouldn't I just do the jokes they love? Why would I move in that talking funny thing that they did with Gervais?
Oh, yeah. I've seen that.
All them. Seinfeld talked about that. They're like, no, new stuff. He's like, no, you also do the class. You do the jokes they love. They want to come back. So there's an argument there. But there's a difference when it's Seinfeld, because you literally are the Beatles playing the Beatles. You know what I mean? Like, right. It is the hits that you know is Seinfeld. When you hear a hack comic doing it, you could go to almost every. There was a guy in Rhode Island that would do jokes similar to this other guy who I would work with in New Hampshire, and this other guy in Connecticut. They weren't stealing. It was just so parallel and so the same easy route that it would crush, because they would just tie in Cranston, New Jersey into their thing instead of this town, whatever, and same kind of fucking thing. And that always pushed me. I was happy when I couldn't follow that guy, because it pushed me to write so much and so hard that I'd rather take chances than fail, but then also hit harder when I did do well than just have that easy out. I have jokes I can still that worked 10 years ago that I could just do that. And
that's why I always feel like I'm always writing more and more and more, but I always feel like I never have more than 25 minutes. Always. I'm always like, even when I write I always feel like I still only have 25. Like I never feel like I go past that. Because
you start to outgrow that other shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
When
it feels weird to do it. Now, what do you think, Kanye?
When I was at Rockefeller Records, Jay-Z put me in a similar situation where he was putting me on the shelf, put me on hold, on blast. And then
I saw your documentary.
And then when I dropped Jesus Walks, shit changed. And then I got in a car accident and they wired my jaw shut like Gino Bisconti. But I heard you had some questions about Roe v. Wade.
Before we get there, I wish I got cast as the Jesus in Jesus Walk. When I watched that documentary, when they made the second version of it, being the white guy walking around just being Jesus, or then he was a black guy, but like I wanted to be the white guy walking around with Kanye being Jesus in a video, because people walking by would be like, what is this?
Did you know? Ooh, Pat, did you know?
He's a genius and I'm Jesus.
On Time Magazine, I was Jesus.
Which one, Bobby or Kanye?
Kanye. I'm Kanye. Bobby went to the bathroom. He'll be back in a few. This is Kanye going forward.
You're the shiniest blackface I've ever seen.
This isn't a blackface. It's a mask, Avery, and an impression.
That's like old time movie, like
guys. That is not what's going on here.
Shiny face.
Real quick, you needed help with Roe v. Wade.
You know when they get spooked in a movie in the 20s, like, ooh, it's that kind of shine.
The
Shining. The guy who's like a cook. What kind? An N-word cook. Like that line in The Shining. You've seen The Shining. That's the line.
So Roe v. Wade. Those are the options in Oregon Trail when you come to a river. You can either row across it and mount your wagon, and it's going to cost you a little more money, but it's going to be a little safer, or you can wade across it, and that's how you're going to lose oxen, Pat. That's how you can get dysentery and die. Anyway, this bit was basically Kanye one time said another thing was better than the thing that won. You guys had your own club, and I was just trying to say the other one was better. That's all. Trying to give Nicholas Bruce a little shine.
We don't have our own club.
Trying to get rebooked. That's all.
We don't own that club.
No, I know, but you guys performed there. I performed at the other one. I don't own the other one. I just was kind of supporting it. Avery, feel free to talk at any point. I know my impression is breathtaking, but Jesus Christ.
I'm sure it's taking the breath out of you wearing that old lady's fucking 1930s gown on your head.
This is like a $200 mask sold by Ye. This is not a cheap prop.
That looks like the dress that you found on the top of the Titanic.
Avery, jump in.
I don't know what we're talking. Are we talking about the mask, or are we talking about comedy clubs? I don't know. I don't know
so what Bobby thinks. Bobby always thinks there's beef with everything.
There's no beef.
For the record, I have friends that perform at both Mohegan Sun, so
there's
I'm
no
not
beef.
Trying to talk shit.
Yeah, Bobby's like, there's a battle between the two casinos that don't care about each other.
No, they are the same company. They both make a profit. They are owned by the same tribe.
The fat people in the Poconos and the fat people in Central Connecticut.
It is kind of funny that they call the Wilkes-Barre Casino the Poconos, because if they called it Wilkes-Barre, nobody would go.
And if we had audio on our podcast, they would have heard that joke yesterday from Bobby.
But this is Kanye. I'm a genius.
Is it Wilkes-Barre? Is that how it's pronounced?
Wilkes-Barre, but Bear is spelled B-A-R-E-E.
Oh, no, I've seen it, but I've heard people say Wilkes-Barre, too.
No, that ain't it. They're wrong.
Okay, I've heard that. That's not good.
Yeah.
No. Wilkes-Barre sounds like it sounds like a comedy duo in the 60s.
Hey, guys, did you see Kanye? I passed him in the hallway.
Yeah, you should have changed your background if you're not going to be Kanye.
No, we're both using the same computer.
He's just hanging out at your house?
Yeah, he said something about titty fucking Avery. I don't know what that meant.
I even if you didn't agree with it, you have to know what it means.
The thing that seemed confusing is he didn't.
Like, there was no innuendo. He said, I want to do titty. By the way, Avery, do not, I think you're only going to take this as a compliment. I don't think it's an insult.
Yeah.
I didn't know you weren't short.
What?
I don't know why, because we've only Zoomed, that I, for some reason, thought you were a short, fat man. And you're just a very tall, built man. And I was like, when I first saw you, I knew who you were. I was like, oh, hey. I was like thrown off that you could ride this ride. And I thought you were just like a little, I don't know why I thought you were like 5'4". Because I never met you, and then I saw you. I was like, "Oh, that makes sense." He's like Shane Gillis Jr. Like he's like you're not fat. You're just a solid boy.
He's the mini
you know what
me.
I mean? Like
he's this mini me. Just follows Shane around.
you're his stunt double. Whenever Asians
You're
want
the
to
one
fight
who
him,
rode the
stand
Sibian.
in.
You rode the Sibian for the OnlyFans video. He's like, I need get the body double in.
I would take that game. I would take Shane Gillis' stunt double right now. That probably pays real good. But no, I mean, but I just did not. I don't know why I thought. I didn't think. Okay, so there was some on the show, Bobby. Just so you know, there was supposed to be 12 comedians at the beginning. Then I guess 3 of them backed out 2 days before, so there was supposed to be 9. But that day, 7 people were battling.
That had nothing to do with Avery's rape allegations, right?
What the fuck are we talking about?
You know what's funny is I think Avery came on going, well, last time Pat was a little rude. And now he's like, Pat's being a gentleman. Is this a game? Like, I had nothing to do with this.
Play good cop, bad cop.
Nothing to do with this. I was like, you know what? I even messaged you. I felt real bad about that. I was like, we were taking. I know, but I'm like, I like this guy. I want to have him on, have fun. And Bobby's like, so how's rape?
I just wanted to see your reaction. It was pretty funny.
No, Bobby, you can at least have Kanye do that.
You guys abused Kanye, and then he left.
I know, but
he's over in the room with the AC crying right now.
Again, like a puppet act. You make the other things say the bad stuff.
Kanye, will you come back on?
Kanye, we don't say that.
Yeah,
Kanye has the same voice as Bobby.
He does.
He didn't even do a voice.
I don't do voices. I don't know how
Neither
many
do
times.
I
don't know how many times I have to tell people this. It's the same voice. I might throw an accent on, but it's going to start out as one ethnicity and end up completely different, right, Avery?
Anyway, ended up having only 7 people in the contest, and 4 had to move on. So that was weirder. Like watching the 7 of you like trying to be like buddies, but you're like, yeah, I'm really battling almost. Like, it wasn't like a split thing. When there's 12 people and 4 move on, at least you have 8 to kind of go, yeah, that sucked. You know what I mean? Like, less than half don't move on.
That was something that went through my head. I'm like, if I don't make it through this, I'm not going to be in the top 4. I'm going to be in the bottom 3.
Yeah, and it wasn't. And I hate to say it, I saw some of the names on the list. 2 of the favorites in that round were like on your show and didn't come.
Damn.
So it does help to move on because it doesn't matter. But at the same time, so when I was judging it, I was paying attention, but I was also paying attention to like, hey, this is hard. Like this crowd's not good. There's less comics. It's a weird thing that they're in. They're all kind of battling. So I just I didn't pay attention to the audience. I paid attention to the jokes and shit like that. And you and a guy named Chris Brown, who's very funny. And it's unfortunate he doesn't go by Christopher because like you watch every person.
I've seen Chris Brown. He is very funny.
Dude, Chris
he's
Brown's
great.
man.
He's great, and he was in this thing too. And I knew his energy would punch right through. But he was saying to me, he goes, "This is gonna be like the white women looking at me like, what the fuck?" But like, he did a great job. And then there was Joe Pontillo, who's been doing it. I think he worked the Last Supper. I think that's how long Joe Pontillo's been doing it. And I've known Joe. I was telling Avery this, but Joe and Joe's first time ever headlining I opened for him as we both worked. Bobby, I've told you this story, but I didn't think I told you the comic. When I worked a strip club where they kept it open during the strip club, yeah, that was Joe was the headliner. I was the middle on a 2-man show in New Hampshire. And they're like, well, we're not going to pay you unless you do all your time. We're like, nobody wants an hour and a half. And then they're like, well, your hotel room. Like, we're not staying in this town. We are leaving.
Yeah, we're good, dude. I'm good.
Back. But there was Joe, and I think Joe moved on. And then the fourth guy that moved on was like the older guy who brought a lot of people. I know that doesn't count, but it did help in this all. You can tell it did. He's a nice enough guy, but he was kind of hacky. I chose the three of you, then I chose, and I'm blank, Sarah something. Whatever. She was funny.
Yeah, she was funny.
Sarah Schultz, I think her name was.
Yeah.
She was funny. She had good shit, and I picked her. I actually had her ahead of Joe. I had you three up top, and then I kind of like just did a Sophie's Choice with the other ones when I did the other picks. But like I thought she was funny, and I was like, and then when I sent it, I gave it to the other judges, but one of the security guys happened to see it. No, it was the sound guy, and I hit it. And he goes, "Oh, safe bet, pick the black guy and the lady." And I go, "That's not what I did." But I like that that's in his head because obviously some other judges said that. Like, when in doubt, pick the black guy and the lady. I was like in trouble
funny.
here. But that's what I was gonna say is through all that, Avery, when there's only 4 people moving on and out of 7, and you're as white as you are, and you move on, you have to be funny. You know what I mean? That's you should take that because at this day and age, you're like white privilege. He's not moving. Avery, white guy named Avery. Fuck you. You know what I mean? Like you're gonna own my lawn. It's like, I don't need this. And you moved on, so congratulations to you for doing that.
Dude, I was in my head. I was like, man, if I don't move on where majority of the comics move on, I'm quitting.
I was gonna be like, there's no way. I know you. I've talked to enough people to go, you're funny. So I was like, there's no way he doesn't. But man, if he stinks, I'm definitely having him on the podcast. It was like, this is gonna be bad. But it was just, it was funny. Even the Ryan, who runs the whole thing, messaged me like an hour later and goes, "That was rough, huh?" Yeah. Real rough one. Oh, dude, I would do a joke I even went back to older shit of mine. They would get a laugh and they would coil back up. And at one point, I just even said to them, "Oh, when the contest part's over, I'm going to be horrible to you people." That's what I said to them. Where you probably heard that. And then I went up afterwards and I would get into a joke and then I would just I'm like, you people are so awful at being people.
You guys want to see my Kramer impression?
Bobby, when that's over, we have to bring all the contestants back on stage. The whole time I'm going, you better clap. You don't deserve what they were. There's so much. And then they all stop. They're standing up there waiting to be told who won. And I'm like, I go, there's so much better. You're a shit audience. And they're all like kind of clapping. And I go, they work on comedy every day. You've never worked on being an audience. Maybe regroup and do it again. And
it was so weird walking towards the stage when he's doing this.
They're all walking up like waving like the Pope. And I'm like, you're a piece of shit. You fucking suck.
God damn.
And then Badge is like, all right, just twirl or bow or clap or do whatever you want to do. I'm going to name the names.
I go, and they're not going to remember you because they're awful. That's what I said. So you're going to have to wave. It's like, and after each comic, they have me spell the names out for the stupid judging thing. So I'm like, I'd be like, Avery. And I go, you spell it wrong. He's the only fucking Avery. It's fine. And at one point with Chris Brown, I go, he's the only one.
Look out for Rihanna.
You can write down whatever you want, but he's the only one of those.
Dancers.
Yes, you said dancer.
Yes. That was more of a Kanye punchline, right?
Let's just say he could catch a football.
No, Chris Brown's a well-known dancer. That wasn't a racial thing. He was just a good dancer.
Yeah, it's a racial thing.
I'm sure there was a Chris Brown in the NFL.
Yes,
right. But probably with a K.
No. Chris Brown, believe it or not, in the Tennessee Titans versus the St. Louis Rams, the Titans had one last drive where they could have scored a game-tying touchdown. Avery, do you remember this?
Yes.
And the guy who made the game-saving tackle on 4th down was Chris Brown.
And then Chris Brown, ironically, wasn't more of a Ray Rice when Ray Rice did it Chris Brown.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. I think they're all the same too, Avery.
Well, Not only that Chris Brown who made that tackle, his middle initial was P because that's how he likes his chicken, crispy.
Actually, now that I'm saying that, I think it was actually a different rapper name. I think it was Mike Jones.
Yeah, I was gonna say
this.
Mike Jones. I know. You're wrong. I was gonna go with the bit, but it was fucking
Mike
middle
Jones.
linebacker Mike Jones. That's a famous play that's been done many times.
No.
Not Chris Brown scooching around with a Sprite in his hand.
No, it was Mike Jones. Who? Mike Jones. Who?
Sprite
Jones.
What is this spriteness?
Because I was, instead of going for the Chris Brown that we all know that beats people, I was going for the Chris Brown that used to sell Sprite in a commercial before Drake got Sprite. Chris Brown used to be the poster boy for Sprite. Then they're like, I think he was hitting ladies with Sprite, so let's put Drake in there.
Too much Sprite. He got a little froggy on Rihanna.
It's got a nice hit of freshness.
You could use lemon and lime to hurt that cut. You can squeeze it on there.
Lemon and lime are the names of the two black guys.
Is it my fault Rihanna was being retarded?
This Sprite has a lemon lime twist, and you got me twisted, bitch. Pop, pop, pop.
Bitch, you call me Usher one more time. By the way, no parent thought less of what their child was going to become than to look at your child and go, Usher. What happened? Oh, my other brother, Bellboy.
Do you think Rihanna...
Usher's not even a cool job.
Usher, hostess, waiter, get over here.
Yeah, but at least waiter gets to bring out the food. Usher doesn't even watch the movie. He has to sit outside while everyone else enjoys it.
How about Jimmy Buffet?
Everyone loves the buffet.
His parents just thought he was going to cut ham the rest of his life. Do you think Rihanna got beat because she kept saying Chris Brown got molested by Michael Jackson?
Avery meant to stone face your ham joke. We did, but
it's all good. Do you think Rihanna got beat because she kept going, the only reason you dance so good is because Michael Jackson molested you? And Chris Brown kept being like, no, I just learned how to dance, and that's what caused the fight?
Is that true?
Not close. Corey Feldman got molested, and he can't dance at all.
No, but I'm saying, do you think that's Rihanna thinks that's how you learn how to dance well? Like it just gets passed down through.
Why was she molested?
I don't know.
She dances well.
She's a woman. Women are supposed to dance well, and they're.
Oh, I thought you were going to say something else. Like, Jesus Christ.
Oh yeah, that would have been real bad. I would have sounded like Avery.
Oh my God, don't put the mask on.
Sounded like the reason why 3 of the comics quit the contest with Avery in it.
Avery is a gentleman.
That's what I say too. And if he calls me on the stand in his trial, I'll say it then too, Avery. I got you, buddy.
Listen, everybody on, just so you know, everyone on that show was such a gentleman that woman's probably like, what was it, 6K guys? Like, no one even looked at me. We all know how to act at comedy shows. You know what I mean? But yeah, there was some dead thing. That audience looked like the poster from The Shining, like the picture in the back. I think everybody was dead. They were so old.
Well, it's the crazy thing too. Is like the old lady came up to me and she was just like, "You were very nice," and I'm like, "What the fuck does that?"
Nice.
Why does that matter?
Well, that one lady,
very nice. Like, I guess it's just because I don't swear.
Are we gonna fuck later, ma'am? What's going on here?
it was funny because before the show I was talking to Avery and I was just like, yeah, God, this is fine as long as you don't go first. That's the worst part. And then the guy who was supposed to go first didn't show up, and Avery was second. And they're like, "Well, Avery, you're going first."
Yeah, my head I was just like, God.
Oh damn, you broke the ice, Avery. Congratulations. Yeah. That's even scarier.
I only did like 8 minutes up front too because they wanted to get the show going. So and most of it was me just telling them they were awful, and then Avery.
That's really something to hang your hat on, dude. All kidding aside, I know I've busted your balls all night. That's awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You went far before though, didn't you? I think you made it to like the semis, right?
I've done this 3 years. I made it to the second round each year.
Okay, nice.
The best part years ago when I was in the year I won it, there was a comic named Brian Plum. I don't know if you know Brian. Brian travels all over. He's a funny guy. He's out of Western Mass. He was in it too, and he's like, "Well, do you think you're gonna win?" I go, "I don't fucking care." And he goes, "My whole goal is to make the semifinals." I go, "Why is that?" He goes, "You get your money back."
That's awesome.
He goes, "That's my only goal is to get the $35 I paid to be in this thing back to me. That's a win." And he got that. And he was like, I'm done. I don't need anymore. No, that's the cool thing about that contest too is like if you move on far enough, they're like, "No, you shouldn't be paying to be in this. You've been in this long enough, so here's your money back, which I appreciate.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's a real cool way to do it.
I'm not gonna lie. When I did the first time I did it, first 2 times I was in Pennsylvania, and the first time I found it was just because it was the middle of the pandemic. It was the only comedy club because a bunch of them were closed down that was like doing anything.
Right.
So the first time I went up, I drove all the way up from Pennsylvania, and I was so excited. And then after I went first, and the audience sucked, I'm like, this would be the first time I didn't have to drive 4.5 hours to get up here. I'm going to lose the first round.
I found the contest because I thought I was applying for the television show Last Comics Standing with a C.
With no S.
Yeah, I literally thought it was for the TV show. And I was just like, all right, cool, this works.
You pay $35 to apply for a TV show through Ryan Brouth.
Yeah, I was not a very intelligent human being.
You're just like, wow, there's not much of a barrier for entry. I can't believe I found the loophole.
I did a contest at Champs in Highspire, Avery. You know,
So
the
did
guy
I.
who ran it. And it did not go the way I thought it should have. And I was like, you know what, though? I got to write new jokes. So I used that, and, like, really, that contest in particular gave me a good gauge and kind of reshuffled how I wrote my jokes and everything. So
Where'd you place in the Highspire contest?
I didn't.
Oh, I got second. Man, my Dick's jokes must just be better than yours.
I don't know, dude. This was a while
It's really
ago.
good. It's really good Dick's joke.
All right.
It is. No, Bobby has good ones. No, you both have good ones, but his joke, I fucking cracked up, and I know Dick's jokes. I was like, that's fucking funny. It was if you've worked retail or experienced, you would laugh very hard at that joke. It's just smart. You kind of know where it's going, but you deliver it better than you think you know where it's going. I know. I appreciate the punchline you did because it wasn't as simple as it could have been. So you kind of could have just gone with whatever and been simple and swore at him, whatever. You know what I mean? But you didn't. You just kind of stayed in retail because you kind of with the punchline without telling about your joke. You kind of you give a retail answer. You're like, well, in other words, I'll continue with your verbiage, but here's the fucking situation. You know what I mean? So, in other words, yes, ma'am, we can't return that thing, but I'll pretend like I can, but I can't. It's like, it was that kind of answer, which I like, a snarkiness to it, which is a very good retail answer. I like the joke. Bobby, yours are good too.
Always
Kanye.
growing. I had a new one this weekend. Landed real well. I started to tell it because it was about a certain swimmer, and the audience just went, oh, no. And then I landed the punchline. I was like, I was scared. And a woman in the audience was like, I was scared too, but you did it, bud. And we got through it together.
About a certain swimmer.
Yeah, I just
And
want to
I'm gonna bet it wasn't Michael Phelps.
We sponsor everything. We didn't sponsor that championship, and it's just because nobody wanted to hear Leah Thomas's championship was brought to you by Dick. There, boom, spoiled the bit. But like,
Bobby, you should do that
it's
joke
on this
and
fucking
say-
podcast.
You should just say, do that joke, and when they just look at you, be like, it's not really a joke, it's more of a transition.
Thanks, man. They didn't though. They actually gave me a standing applause.
No, I'm sure, but
They were like, you were brave enough to
That's
go
a
there.
really funny joke.
Thanks, Avery.
all right, we should do one POS story before we run away. Now, yesterday,
Who's the POS? Me for calling Avery a rapist 5 times in this episode
What is
with no
this
basis?
dude?
no, he's the POS. Just vote for him.
Yeah, I was just making me the POS for doing that.
I know,
Avery.
but you said it again.
Oh, fuck. Damn it. I blew it. Sorry, Avery.
Did you ever reach out to Richard Kish?
Yes.
All right, no, yes.
He hasn't responded.
All right, but it's just don't tell him to pull those clips. Or you
Pull-
just calling
pull-
Avery a
don't-
rapist. Don't do that.
Just don't pull those clips.
Don't. All right, unless he cuts that part out. It says me saying pull these clips. I don't want. Avery's not a rapist. He likes people.
But what if he just now cuts that where he takes the word not?
Bobby's
out,
a
and it's
rapist. How about that one, Avery? Bobby rapes.
How about no one raped?
Bobby's favorite composer is Rapetoven. No.
Jesus Christ.
No.
How long have you
Oh
been
my
sitting on
God.
that one? We've done, what, 200 episodes of this, and you didn't pull that one out? That was great, dude. Avery, you
I
inspired
don't know
genius
why.
tonight.
Because Kanye inspired me. I wanted to go to another genius.
If this is what it takes to inspire geniuses, me being accused of being, I don't want to
No,
inspire
not-
any genius.
I didn't
Nobody
accuse
accused
you.
you. No.
Bobby's sure you did it. I don't
What?
think you did it all.
I didn't say that. Now you're putting words in my mouth.
Can I just read the story? I was
Yes,
going to
I'm
read
so
the story
sorry. I'm
if you
sorry.
did this. You.
Avery's a loving human being. I was just making jokes.
On the show that might come on the air with Greg if we ever get audio on it, yesterday there was a story about somebody getting shot over mayonnaise. Now, by the way, Bobby, when I write on that Medium app, some woman wrote a real serious piece on that, which is funny too, about how, once again, men not understanding women, a mother making a sandwich wrong gets shot. That's how that woman in the writing an article took that story of a guy obviously on drugs shooting a woman at Subway because she put too much mayo on a sandwich.
Dude,
but when I read that story, underneath it, there was other stories about mayonnaise
real
from
quick.
New York Post. And I'm like, well, that's weird. And there's a lot. So we've said for the next couple shows, we're going to do one mayonnaise story that's from the New York Post. So
real quick. I just
Garrett, don't do it. Don't. He doesn't do that.
Garrett Andreets pointed out a very good point about that story. Do you know why that story is everywhere? So when you Google Subway shooting, the New York story doesn't come up anymore.
Oh, I thought it was because the Jared story didn't come up anymore.
Maybe they work together.
I think Subway cares more about that than other shootings.
No. I think they just set it up so that way you don't find out about the guy who killed all those people in New York.
You'll still find out. If you Google Subway shooting right now, yes, number 1 be Mayo, but 2 through 10 are just dead kids in New York.
The crazy thing is if you Google Hellman's, also the Subway shooting comes up.
Yes, because that was hell, man. Hey-o.
It's not going to get better than that.
By the way, and slave owners sometimes when they couldn't get their guys to work, they finally did. They used their miracle whip, and they it's a miracle now. Click the gun. Anyway, it's just genius stuff. If you let me read the story, I wouldn't have time to do this.
Yeah, Avery, just let him read the goddamn story.
I don't. Stop it. Bobby, you're raping this show. I accuse you of that. That's what you're doing.
I think we just need to stop yelling that word because Avery doesn't have his headphones.
Well, Bobby, yeah. Every time I yell Bobby, Kanye comes out.
This is as soon as I realized 5 minutes before that I couldn't find my headphones, I was so terrified.
I don't think he did it. Is that better? Does that help?
He's praying for a fire alarm this whole time.
I don't care what she said. He's innocent.
Hey, babe, can you start a fire? Babe, please. Fire.
What about Bobby? Bobby's the rape.
No
Bobby is. Bobby
Avery was right.
Rape.
No one is.
Bobby's rape. Anyway, if I get to my mayonnaise story, accused wife killer claims powerful group infected him with mayonnaise. This is from 2 years ago. A deranged California man accused of beating his wife to death with a concrete block told investigators that a brutal, powerful group had infected him with mayonnaise. Nathaniel Robertson, 46, bashed his 57-year-old wife, Lydia Robertson, to death in their Bakersfield home. Her body was found lying on the floor with major head trauma, surrounded by a large pool of blood, with the block lying next to her. Robertson told detectives in a confusing, rambling statement that he bludgeoned his wife to give her compassion and mercy as the alignments were not in place to protect her, according to a new court document. He claimed also he'd been infected with mayonnaise by a group of people he only identified as they. On top of that, he told, no, Bobby, don't. Bobby, no. Bobby, no. I saw you grab the mic when I said they. And Kanye's not getting involved. No. God damn it, Bob. Let me do the mayo.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
God damn it. Don't come back as Kanye. On the top, Kanye hates mayo. On top of that, he told investigators there was something inside him releasing information about the Revolutionary War, according to the report. Asked if he used drugs, Robertson told detectives that he used ice, a nickname for methamphetamines, to help him breathe, the outlet reported. He also
He just was addicted to vanilla ice.
Vanilla ice.
You know, stop, collaborate, and listen. Ice is back.
He's also fessed up to ingesting crystal meth, and documents said. So crystal meth and methamphetamines and believing a group got together to give him powerful mayonnaise. He told authorities that he loved his wife and called her his best friend. I didn't want to be a painful thing, Robertson said. I didn't want to hit her a bunch of times. He wanted it to end. I didn't want her suffering. He didn't want to do any of that. Robertson was arrested at Riverview Park nearby, where he told deputies he'd been looking around for a place to kill himself. He had to find a good setting. The lighting's awful here. I can't kill myself here. That band keeps playing. He has pleaded not guilty to a first-degree murder charge in the case and is being held on $1 million bail. Robertson suffered from mental illness and abused drugs, and the couple remained married for only financial reasons, a neighbor told investigators, according to the station. Who's the piece of shit? Sorry, once again, Bobby, the 5 hashtags underneath this article: California, drugs, mayonnaise, murders, and in the date. I love that mayonnaise is a hashtag in all these stories. Something is up with mayonnaise, and we're going to get to this is what Epstein's about. I think mayonnaise is changing everything. But who's the piece of shit in this story? Avery, go first.
So it's hard for me to believe, like, that did the mayonnaise mental illness guy have a lot of money? They were stayed together for financial reasons?
I would guess, just by reading this, that she had the money. Or maybe neither one had money, but together they could afford to live somewhere. That's probably more the case. I'm guessing together they could afford a rent. Without it, they were both homeless.
Right. And I'm going to bet that the home had wheels under it.
No, this is like an apartment.
Oh, good for them.
Because they said there was like neighbors and things there. And the mayonnaise was powerful. But they didn't say how they got it in them. Why did he just take mayo from they?
So the mayonnaise was infected with something that made him.
It was a powerfully induced mayonnaise.
Right.
That made him bludgeon his wife with a concrete block over and over so she wouldn't suffer. I don't laugh at that, but there's nothing that sounds more suffering than a concrete. If I stub my toe on a concrete block, it bothers me for a week. Like, to hit me in the head with it, I'd rather deal with they.
Well, okay. So, has anyone ever lied to you when you order Chipotle mayo and they just give you regular mayo?
Yes.
That's rage inducing. That's hit someone with a block inducing. If that's what the wife did, piece of shit on the wife's part.
She didn't do it, though. She was just living. He just came in and cracked her with a concrete block because mayonnaise made him mad. She didn't serve him the mayo.
He got mad at Big Mayo.
Yeah, Big Mayo is taking over. They're so powerful because there's Little Mayo. Think about it. You named Hellman's Miracle Whip. Name me 2 others. You can't. You might name a grocery store's name. You can't because there's a Mayonopoly. By the way, you're welcome. A Mayonopoly on that business.
Mayonopoly.
They own their own clinic. Bob, you don't roll your eyes at the Mayo Clinic. How dare you?
No, I didn't get it at first. And then I was rolling my eyes at how stupid I was for not getting the Mayo fucking Clinic. It was me mad at me, not at you, buddy. That was a great joke.
I wonder how many kids got to be brought there and they're already dying and it's awful, but they're like mayonnaise clinic.
I ain't taking my son to no mayonnaise clinic. He already dying of the diabetes.
It's like, that ruins potato salads. I ain't gonna ruin my son.
Did he attack her from behinds?
Not the joke I would have made with those allegations out there, Avery, but
I love a pun. I really do. That's by the way, Behind's Ward was also in that game. That would be his prison name, Behind's Ward. That's the name of the section you have sex with somebody in jail. The Behind's Ward.
It's pretty good.
All right, so who's the piece of shit in the mayonnaise bludgeoning story?
Probably the mayonnaise manufacturers. Because it wasn't for that condiment, this whole thing wouldn't have happened.
Yeah, but and it's funny, if you're gonna drug something, I've never drugged anything. But if you're going to, I would think that you would go for like an obvious thing, like a drink or something like that. But nobody would suspect man. You know what I mean? Because once mayonnaise goes bad, you throw it out. So if mayo's in your fridge, you're like, oh, it must be fine. So if you're gonna put some kind of powerful drug in, you're like, who fucks with mayo? Nobody.
You can't.
So you definitely can get them.
You can't dose mayo properly though, because you don't know how much mayo they're gonna put on their sandwich.
Bobby, do you have experience with this?
I'm just saying.
You kind of were sure.
I'm pretty good at not necessarily mayo dosing, but let's say fat soluble substances, right? If you're anybody who's ever extracted weed or made edibles knows how hard it is to evenly distribute throughout like a butter or other fat-based substance, the THC. So if you were going to try to continue that process with any other type of drug, I'd imagine it's a similar process.
Yeah, but Bobby, you're not understanding the power of mayo. Like when you put mayonnaise on something, you taste mayonnaise more than you taste anything else in the product.
That's
Even
the
when you put it on a
power
burger,
of
you put it on,
mayo.
you know, but seriously, you put mayonnaise on a burger, you're doing that because you know the guy who makes the burger fucking overcooks it, makes hockey pucks. Like if I know someone's cooking a good burger, I don't put mayonnaise on it because I don't need extra moisture. That's what you're basically doing with mayonnaise. Tuna fish, you're putting more in. Every time you put mayonnaise in something, it dominates everything else. So if you put drugs in mayo, mayo's still going to dominate the drug.
I knew a former friend who put mayo in cake.
They're a former friend?
Yeah, because they put mayo in cake.
You tasted the mayo in the cake? They baked it?
They told me after I ate the
I've never
cake,
had hot mayo.
hey, there's mayo in this cake. And that's something you should tell somebody before they eat a cake, right, Avery?
Did you taste it and go, this is mayo? Or did you go, this is great? They're like, haha, you ate mayo, bitch.
They were like, well, it's like actually less fattening because I added some mayo in it. That's my secret ingredient. I was
Less
like, that's
fattening?
fucking
Mayonnaise
disgusting.
is fat.
I don't know, man.
That's
I'm
all
not good
fat.
at baking.
It's fat and eggs.
I'm good at
fat.
getting
It's
baked,
just-
but not baking, you know?
It's just eggs and oil. And shit. It's the fattest thing you can eat.
That is
It
true.
doesn't even. It's so gelatinous.
What
Besides
about
eating actual fat,
fat-free? What about fat-free mayo? What is that then?
I don't even know how
Really?
they. It can't be good. It can't be. That's the one that you see like liquid on the bottom.
Probably right.
You don't trust that.
And the people you see eating fat-free mayo, they're not fat-free themselves, so it's not like it's working.
No.
Yeah, that's like someone who has dairy-free ice cream. It's like, what are we even doing? Like,
yeah,
you
you're just eating
just have
jizz cream.
sherbet.
You're eating
Just have
jizz cream.
sherbet. You know, if you're gonna have fat-free mayo, have mustard. You don't want. You're
That's
not
a
having
good
mayo.
point. Yeah,
You know what I
Very
mean?
good point.
Bobby, who's a piece of shit?
Now I just might be a simple cow, but I got a real issue with they them trying to put mayo into people. You know what I'm saying? They're trying to put mayo in our kids. I hear about these drag time story hours where they them are trying to put mayo in our children. They're trying to put mayo in our kids in school. But I'm just a simple cow, so I'm gonna say they them's a piece of shit.
I may or may not quit this show. By the way, could that be a game? May or may not. That's
Yes,
a game.
that is a great game.
People try it. It could be anything. It could be jizz. It could be icing.
She
The other
may
one's
or may not
face.
be 15.
May
She
or
may or
may
may not
not.
be 19.
Bobby, we get pictures of white substance somewhere, and we ask you if it's mayo or may not.
Yeah.
That's better than Gattaca. Anyway, so the piece of shit in this story is,
The guy who
I hate to shock you, the guy who beat his wife with a syndrome.
oh man, I was gonna say it was the guy who poisoned him.
Yeah, it's not they. There is no they. That is the worst excuse in the world. Listen, sometimes people hit you with stuff that they blame other people. You don't do that. You did that. Mayonnaise makes me so tired after I eat a sandwich with mayonnaise or something like that. I take a nap. I don't have the energy to bludgeon somebody with a cinnamon roll. So that's lies. That was somebody who was. The only thing that outpowers mayonnaise is all the drugs this man did.
I was gonna
That
say,
is
do you
it.
think that's why he had the mayonnaise? It was like his fucking Narcan. Oh god, he's overdosed on meth. Hit him with the mayonnaise. Give him the mayonnaise.
Mayonnaise is his fentanyl. He cuts it. He cuts everything with it. Like he's trying to do it through a syringe. Like he just won't squeeze through.
Avery, you have movie star teeth, man. You know that?
What does that mean?
Look at how nice his teeth are, dude.
But some movie stars don't have teeth, like the ones in scary movies.
That's a good point. You have some movie star teeth, Avery.
Like Jessica Tandy,
Yeah.
she's old and has fake teeth. So like, you have a nice smile. I would have said you have dentist commercial teeth, and you've been in commercials, so that makes sense.
Yeah. Normally, I'm the fat guy in commercials. I've never been the dentist guy.
But you're always the fat guy with teeth. Don't fucking outsell yourself.
Great
You know what I
teeth,
mean?
Yeah.
You don't want to be fat guy without teeth. You are a fat guy. No, you're not fat guy. You are safe guy. That's what it seems like you are in these commercials.
Avery, you're
safe.
not
It's safe
fat.
guy's a doughy guy who's loving. You're safe.
You're not fat, Avery. Like maybe you used to be, but at least from what I've seen you, you're not. You're
When I saw, like I said, you were not the things I thought you were. I thought you were going to be 4'4" both ways, and you were not that. You were tall, and you looked like Shane Gillis. Now, I don't think Shane is fat. A guy who used to play football. That's what you look like.
Avery, you also used to play football. Do you think you could take Shane? If you
no,
had to
dude,
pass
I met that guy
rush him?
twice, and
No, but if you had to
He's-
pass rush him, you're a defensive end. He's playing offensive tackle, so you don't necessarily have to outsize him. You can use your speed.
I never had very good rip or or swim moves. I was a nose tackle.
At 6'9", swim move is probably your best bet, right? I had a dirty spin because I'm 5'6".
Also, if I was 4'4", dude, this head would be even bigger looking than it already looks.
Yeah. There's a guy now. I just saw a video of him. There's a tackle that's 7 feet tall. That's too tall. Like, how do you throw to that side? Like,
good luck throwing any inside route.
I know he's monster and he can move too. And they actually have him pull and shit. It's crazy. But like, but he's 7 feet tall. They said he's like 380 or it's insane. But he can move and he's pancaking the fuck out of people. But you could just take it. His knees are going to be done in a year.
Oh yeah.
My dad was a all-state kick returner in high school, and like went to college and didn't play football, but was like always in the back of his head, like he went to a small D1 school. Like, maybe I could walk on and do something. And then he said he saw Warren Sapp run the 40 at the NFL draft and post the exact same 40 time he did and was like, yeah, I'm just never going to strap up again. They're letting monsters play this game.
My uncle was a punter for the Redskins, my great uncle. So it's like, this is like when there was one black guy on the team and he just drove the bus. Like, this is, but anyone else could have made that. But
he also had the bus nickname. It was just the bus driver. Right. It's the bus.
They can also call them the Redskins, but he was the punter. And I was asking my family, like, one time, I was like, do you think he could have played now? And they're like, no, he was just an old white guy who knew someone. That's what football was back then. It's just like, hey, Bub can kick. Like, all right, whatever. Come on, Bub.
Avery, what level did you play at in college, if you don't mind me asking?
I didn't play college ball. Are you kidding me?
Oh man, I was trying to. I just assumed. I'm sorry. Take it as a compliment. You got so offended. I was like, dude, you're
monsters. That is terrifying. I did theater in college.
That surprises me, believe it or not. I took you as a football stud. My brother was a kicker, Pat, and he ended up playing D3 football. And basically, when he got recruited, it was just schools trying to get him to give them his tuition money. Like, he got recruited by all these schools he didn't want to go to because they just want kids to play football and pay to go to their school.
My brother, who listens to the podcast all the time, played football in high school and in college. And only, if I get this wrong, he'll tell me, lost 2 games in his whole life. His first game and his last game. His first game was freshman year and his last game of senior year college.
Jesus.
Never lost a game.
Sucks.
That's insane.
In between, yeah.
Was it the finals his senior year? Like, were they in the championship, or did they lose?
I'm not sure about the championship. I think so. They were very dominant for a couple of years in college. They played D3, but he played at Bentley, and there's a business school. He went there, but they were undefeated for years. Their coach was tied in with BC and shit like that stuff too. Like, they're very, very good schools. And he played every game. So like, he also started in every game. So it's like,
that's awesome.
It wasn't just like, so played always and did that. So like, that's crazy. My dad played football in high school and against Bobby Valentine, who was the coach of the Mets and everything like that.
That's sick.
Oh, no way.
Valentine was a great football player and a running back. My dad broke his collarbone by tackling him.
That's awesome.
So my dad always bragged about that whenever he'd be on TV. He's like, fucking broke that guy's collarbone. And then my dad went to Holy Cross and was going to try to walk on and play football. Same thing. Saw how big they were and then ended up playing baseball. And then got hit in the nuts by a ball that he's a catcher that bounced off the home plate, made him throw up, and then he stopped playing sports.
That'll do it to you. My the closest I got, my dad went to the rival school of the Stoops brothers that coached Oklahoma.
Yep.
And not the head coach, but the other one in a state championship game for basketball. My dad was taunting him, and he threw a towel at my dad, and my dad ran away, because he thought the guy was attacking him, but it was just a towel over his face, so he looked like an idiot.
Which is crazy that the Stoops got so many African Americans to play for them, because the Stoop is where their grandma sits and yells at them to go back to school.
Yeah, and then they recruited to go to their high school, Cardinal Mooney.
Yep.
My in 8th grade, they would show you like the highlight tape of the senior team to get you like all excited, you know. And I remember they lost in the second round of the playoffs, and the coach was like, head coach Rob Clark was like, "That's what's tough about the playoffs. Everybody but one team ends with a loss." And I was like, well, what's the better solution? Just to not make the playoffs? Like, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
We went 2-8.
And then we did do that, Avery. We could, for the next 4 years of my football career, we did not make the playoffs, so we ended our season on a win every year.
We got our ass kicked so hard. Almost every game.
I went to 3 high schools in 5 years because I was going for my doctorate. And so when one of the schools I went to, I played basketball at all 3. One of them was just like the worst town. They didn't even play basketball. They made their football. They thought they were good at football, but they weren't even good at that. But they made their football players play basketball to be in shape, but they weren't in shape. So I actually was the only one that knew how to play basketball. We won one game, and the only reason why we won is I still believe to this day. Our bus driver got lost, and it was near the Connecticut-Massachusetts line, and we drove over the line, went into another state, came back half hour late, then won. I'm like, kiddingly on the bus, I go, as long as we just leave the state before every game, we can win. And my coach is like, yeah, we should do that. I'm like, holy shit.
What? No.
I'm not being serious.
No.
And most of our games aren't this far.
Yeah. My basketball team, we won 4 games my senior year. And my favorite part would be every halftime, the head coach would come in the locker room, be like, if you guys don't pick it up, I'll put in, he'd point to one kid's like midget brother who just came to every game. I'll put in Ayler's brother. And you'd just be sitting there like, hey, coach, before we get to that step, what if we give old Big Shot Bob a shot, huh? Because I haven't been in the game yet. And before we do something drastic, maybe we let me shoot a 3 or 2.
It's like, no, we're never going to give up that much.
Yeah, we're not going to give up to the point we're letting the Amish guy go for a free throw.
We'll take the town tar before butter churn over here.
It got to the point I would just come in and try to make ESPN. So I'd like dribble between my legs and just pull up wherever I was at on the court and get lucky sometimes.
Wait, are you from Delco?
Me? No.
Yeah.
I just like the hat.
Oh, I was about to say, because like Delco is a very unfortunate area if you want to be competitive in basketball.
Oh, yeah. No, I went to Lower Dolphin, buddy. I could have played power forward at 5'6".
The white section of the flag of Philadelphia.
No. I'm saying basically the same thing with Lower Dolphin. But
dude,
now we're just doing
welcome
to our Central Pennsylvania
really
podcast. We're going to go to
5'8" white guys really
Saturday's Market.
Does Kanye have anything he needs to plug?
No, Kanye doesn't have shit going on right now, other than our date together, Pat. But I'm going to assume you're going to crush that one.
Well, I mean, Kanye's not on that show. You can plug that. But Avery, thank you for being on. I'm sorry about the allegations. And can you please?
And you will get through them, buddy. It's okay. We'll get through them all together.
Bobby,
stop it. No headphones. Bad Bobby. If you don't have headphones and you can't find them, you should take 2 caps of Silk City hot sauce and stick them in your ears. And that way you can't hear anything. Yeah, go to the website. We forgot to do a commercial
POS.
for them.
I actually gave him a big old fat plug hole on the dump today, so using our promo code.
Cool. Use the promo POS and you can go take a dump while watching a dump. Avery, where can people check you out, follow you, all that stuff?
Avery Quinn 66 on Instagram. I post some stand-up clips every once in a while. And
66 your football number?
Yeah.
I figured.
Cool.
Oh man, that's like good every time. And other than that, just I don't have a date yet, but if you're around Connecticut, keep an eye out for comics round 2. It'd be nice to have someone in my corner if you're a fan of the show.
I wonder how long round 1 goes, because I've got 2 more hosting of those. I've got 1 in 2 weeks. I think the 10th I'm doing it, and then I'm doing one like in late August. I'm guessing that's round 2. I would assume.
Avery,
no, that's round 2.
Avery's a very funny comic. I've given him a hard time on this podcast, but I've seen him perform several times, including the Harrisburg Comedy Zone. Very funny guy. If you get the chance, go see him. It's not a bad time.
It's me. I don't work the Comedy Zone. I work a Wisecracker, and I don't like that club.
I like both clubs. So did Kanye.
Kanye East.
Kanye wanted some support for Nicholas Bruce.
Sorry, I don't have a gimp mask like Bobby has in his room. Why do you have an expensive sex mask?
It is a Kanye mask.
Why do you have that?
Let's just say, like, before.
There's no eye. Wait, what's that mask for? There's no eyes.
There are eyes. You can see through it.
That's not eyes.
There was a time period where before, like, I knew the.
I can see through pantyhose. Doesn't mean I have eyes.
Good point. But there are specific eye holes in the mask. You just can't see them from your angle.
More like guy holes for gay stuff.
Yeah.
All right. I deserve that one, Avery. I deserve
no
that
glory
one.
in your hole.
But like before I knew like the exact like rules of if you punch somebody you work with and how long you'd be suspended, where action was going to be taken and I needed to hide my identity and I was going to be Kanye.
Nice. That was a deep cut. So Bobby, tell them where they can get masks. Can we get some of those POS masks?
Yeah, we could probably do that. Do you want, dude? What if we made you a character, right? And your whole
what
shtick
if we
was
just got any
that mask? We could try to figure that out. I don't really know. Avery,
It's
do you know how
always
to do
fair.
merch?
No.
No one knows.
I have 20 minutes.
All right. Well,
Thank God. Dude, I knew a comic. I've said this before. Davin Rosenblatt. I should say, you want to talk about a hack. That guy was a fucking hack. This guy used to have I used to do like just one line, like meme jokes before there was memes, but like everything was just like this fucking line. It was all like a poster you'd put on your room for inspiration. It was a joke. And he had a bumper sticker or a button he sold for every line he did. So like afterwards, he'd be like QVC at a table, like 30 bumper stickers, t-shirts, all with every joke that he said that night. And at one time, he was laying his stuff out when the show was over. And he goes, he looks at me, he panics and goes, "Is the mic still on?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I didn't unplug it yet. Why?" He runs up and he grabs the mic and he just says a joke. He walks back and goes, "I forgot that one." He didn't think they'd buy it.
Was it you, Pat, who told the story of somebody who had a shirt with the joke in it and then forgot to tell the shirt joke?
Yeah, Brett, I told that. Brett Ernst did that, which is awesome. Brett Ernst, it was a crazy weekend. We're running through all this shit. And he had this awesome joke about this guy, Tony, who would be like this. If you went to a roller skating rink when you were a kid, and there'd be the guy who was like 30 years older than all the girls, and he's trying to fuck them, and he's dead, and everyone's like, "Fuck Tony." So he had his shirt that said "Fuck Tony." People would buy, and he would forget about it. He did that joke and always kill. We did a late show. He crushed, but he didn't do the "Fuck Tony" joke. And then afterwards, he's selling merch, and everyone's just walking by. And
Who's
he's like,
Tony?
He just goes, "God damn it!" I goes, "I didn't do the fucking joke. They just think I'm mad at some guy named Tony."
They just
So when people walk by,
does not like Tony.
But he was so funny and cares, and he's a good-looking dude too. So like the girls would walk by, and go, "What's that?" So he just did the bit at the table as they're walking out, and then all of a sudden, like there's a new audience of like 40 people watching this dude crush at a table.
He's probably
and then
selling
he sold
more shirts. Yeah, he's probably selling more shirts than he ever did doing it that way. And Avery, that's why I like you, because you're the type of guy like that would turn a negative situation into a positive.
Yeah, like Bobby accusing you of awful things, and you still were a great guest. So thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, follow, keep subscribing to us, go to the Patreon, all that fun shit, whatever. Bobby and I have that show. We don't need, I should one point read the flyer and know where it is.
I will plug it properly next week.
We will both do that next week. I'll be in Bobby's World. They're not on a show called Bobby's World, but I'll be at Bobby's World on the Anthony Cumia show on July 12th. So I'll be over there. Make sure if you're not a subscriber yet, subscribe to the Compound, at least for a month, so you can see me. And when you're there, then you can search my name and see all my 8,000 other appearances that I've been there on. Besides that, I appreciate everybody who's been following the show. Anyone that's watching this now when this comes out, if you're like, "What the fuck's up with the Greg show and no audio?" What do you expect from us?
It'll be up tonight. It'll be fixed.
We'll see. It's been a tough couple weeks, but we'll do the best we can. Well, the compression. Every time I try to put up a show, I'm like, Dan Brown was too big.
Yeah, we've just been doing long episodes, buddy. We've been killing it.
We kill it. Or maybe if Kanye didn't keep showing up accusing everybody of rape, the show would be showing up. But I blame Big Mayo. So Avery, thank you so much, and Bobby.
If you can't beat them, join them. No, if you can't join them, beat them, and don't be a piece of shit.
No.
Recording stop.